Hello and welcome to another episode of the Super Soul Model series. I'm your host, James Granström, and today's episode is why having a vision for your life is everything. Because if you don't have a vision, you're just going to remain the same. You cannot just go through life without having some sort of vision about what it is that you want, where it is that you're going, and where you're going to end up, because otherwise you're just going to end up exactly where you are, more of the same. And if you want to create a fantastic life, which I encourage you, if you're wanting to, break out of your shell and turn it into something phenomenal, you've got to have some sort of vision about where it is that you're going. Because if you don't have a vision, you'll just stay stuck. And people can stay stuck for days, weeks, months, even years. And that's because they're not tuning into having a vision, and then they're not moving towards it. And I want to sort of show you today in ways that really, really do work, from a mind, body, and soul perspective, about how you can tap into creating a vision, number one, and then going about activating it in certain ways regularly every day, so you're moving in that direction. Because your mind thinks in pictures. Your mind is like a blueprint. It requires a blueprint in order to move forwards. So the pictures that you feed your life, the pictures that you feed your mind with your life, is what you're going to have more of. So if you're focusing on things that are upsetting, things that are distressing, like plenty of news when you're watching the media, that's what you're going to get more of. Your body will respond to the messages and respond to the pictures and respond to the programs like TV shows, movies, etc., that you're watching in your life. And your subconscious mind will eavesdrop on all the conversations that you're having on your phone, in your personal life, and in your conversations. And when you start to get clear about what it is that's really important to you, then you'll know that you've got to start aligning and becoming congruent with not only your thoughts, your words, but also your deeds and your actions and your behaviors, and what it is that you're watching on TV, and what you're reading, and what you're paying your mind attention to. Now, this sounds like really overwhelming, so I'm just going to break it down in small bite sizes. Just do one little thing at a time. But let me just talk to you about some sort of case studies of things that have really worked, so you can really understand an analogy here about a vision. So, and I really like to start with sports people. Sports people are really interesting because we always revere people that do amazing things. We revere people that, have gone to the brink and managed to turn it around. And okay, so there's a really interesting case study. I have LeBron James. LeBron James, basketball player, now plays for the LA Lakers, once played for Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was really interesting. After winning two Miami Heat NBA finals, he eventually left Miami to go back to his hometown of Cleveland. And in Cleveland, he spent there, I think it was about 3 years. But in one of the year that they actually won the NBA finals in Cleveland, which was the first time in years, was with LeBron James, and he was the leader of that team. He was the one that showed up, and what he said was, I know how it is to win. I know the blueprint of what it takes to win. We have the blueprint. I know what that blueprint is, and we're going to implement and activate that blueprint in order to win this series. We're going to do what it takes with all that we've got, and we've got the resources here. So we just need to follow the blueprint for success to win the finals. That's what he said there or thereabouts in his conversation that I remember watching on TV. And I've studied successful people. I study people who are phenomenal. And I find it fascinating that he was using that word blueprint, because essentially what that means is vision. He knew what it takes from having won at Miami before, the 2 years prior, and then taking that same principle, that same winning blueprint, and transferring it into another location. Now, they didn't do it the first season in Cleveland. He did it in the second season, which was amazing, and it was phenomenal. The whole town went wild, and he understood that vision and having a vision was everything. But he had managed to take that vision in his mind and share that with the people. Now, that's what a leader does. Now, you may be a parent. You could share that vision with your family. You may be, head of a company, and you share that vision. Because when you share your vision and you share it with emotion, and you share it with purpose, and you share it with drive, that feeds the hearts and minds of the people beneath you. It could be your kids. It could be your wife. It could be your wife leading. It could be the mother leading the family. It could be the father leading the family. It doesn't matter who's leading. If someone in the family or someone in the company has got to have a clear vision and share that vision with heart, mind, and soul to be able to share that vision for it to become alive. Because when two or more are gathered together, that's what Christ mentioned in the Bible. But what he's saying is, in that particular scripture, when two or more are gathered together in my name, what he's really truly saying, if you break it down into a corporate analogy, what he's saying is when two or more people are gathered together on the same vision, amazing things will happen. That's what he's saying. That's what Steve Jobs built with Apple. Think different. I'm going to build something beautiful, but I want people here to think differently. So that's how amazing things are created. That's how the athletes do it. When Novak Djokovic was a kid, he used to build the Wimbledon trophy out of paper mache. I think he was like, I don't know if it was between the ages of 5 and 7. He knew he wanted to one day be a Wimbledon champion. And there he was in Serbia. No Serbian, I don't think at that time, had ever won Wimbledon. But that was this little boy's dream. And years later, he's held that trophy 4 times. I don't know if it's 5 times now, but he's definitely held it several times. And it all started from that dream of being a little boy and building that paper mache. That is a vision. And yes, your vision may take a while to be able to realize, but realize this for yourself, that when you have a vision, you'll know that you'll move towards it. And if you don't have a vision, you're just going to get the same. And that, my friends, is what I call a dull life, and living is no fun. That's just existence. You want to be more than existence. You came here to fulfill your desires. You came here to fulfill all the things that you wanted and for your dreams to come true. But that requires you having, number 1, a vision, and number 2, following it up with little baby steps. Now, in order to activate your vision, the best way to start is to know what you want. Are you wanting to have a family? Are you wanting to have kids? What amount of money are you wanting to make? What holidays would you like to go on? What sort of things would you like to bring into your experience? Years ago, when I was at school, I used to plaster my room full of beautiful female models and a few guys in there if I thought the picture was beautiful. And I was just absolutely fascinated by such beautiful aesthetic pictures, the human form. I just loved it. And I found myself 10 years later actually having that experience, being the guy in the pictures. Now, I wasn't saying I wanted to be the guy in the pictures. I wasn't saying anything like that. I was just surrounded by tons and tons of beautiful pictures. And I used to do that at my university as well. When I went to university, I took the same principle, put them in my rooms, because I just love being surrounded by so much beauty. And I really appreciate the feminine form for its beauty, and I love the photography. And so, I did photography for GCSE and A-level, and I just love the aesthetics of it all. But what I found is that when I left university, I found myself entering a career where this was now my experience. And so a couple of years into modeling, I came across a lady, and she said, well, why don't you start putting up more pictures of the things that you want? So that's when I took this picture philosophy and started putting it towards things that I wanted. Now, not everything has always come true on my board, but I tell you what, a lot of the things have come true on my board. When I was modeling, I was in Korea. I cut out these pictures of going to the Maldives, and I really wanted to go to the Maldives, and I'd never gone before. And I put this up for like 6 weeks in my room where I was staying, and I found that 9 months later, I got a call from a friend saying, would you like to come to the Maldives with me for free? And I couldn't believe that had happened, because I'd been looking at these pictures, I'd been feeling the emotions of being there. I'd even cut out a picture of one of those beautiful birds, I think they're like storks or pelicans or something like that are pink and were on the beach. And when I arrived with my friend to the Maldives on this wonderful gift of a holiday that he'd treated me to, I saw the pelican bird on the beach, and then I realised there and then, oh my golly, these pictures that I've been putting up in my life have been coming true. And it's because your mind thinks in pictures. It thinks like a blueprint. If you blueprint your mind with beautiful pictures and you blueprint your mind with positive emotions, that is what's going to come into your life. And that's how we function. So if you're going to become a great envisioner for your family, if you're going to become a great envisioner for your company, if you're going to become a great envisioner, full stop, start surrounding your life with amazing pictures that make you feel good. Because if they don't feel good and you look at them, I would get rid of them from my experience, because I realized that what I have in my life is based upon the emotions. I want my emotions to take me higher, not lower. So any pictures that give you this good feeling emotion, have them around you. Any pictures that uplift and inspire you, have them around you. I have like a couple of vision boards that I have in my life now, and it's amazing to see what's happened. Number one, I had a picture of an Aston Martin Vantage. And one of my friends, I always wanted to drive one of these cars, and one of my friends actually bought one of these beautiful cars, insured me on his car, and I was allowed to drive it for a little time. I was so appreciative, so thankful, and still to this day I'm so thankful for that experience, because my friend was the cooperative component that helped all of this come about. But it was my mind that was attracting this experience, this beautiful car that I looked at. Underneath this car, I wrote, well, I cut out of a magazine, Top Gear. 3 years ago, I was on Top Gear. Not the TV show, but on the online version where they did a video for Top Gear of being raced around a track. That was my experience, and that was just from me cutting out Top Gear. Travel. I had New York on there, hadn't been to New York, had gone to New York. Just loads of little amazing things. You know, a picture of Hawaii. I've gone to Hawaii 3 times now. Just loads of wonderful little things that you just cannot make up. For me, it feels like holiday things are things that I find very easy to draw in, because I've got no resistance. And anytime I think about a holiday or a vacation, I get super excited. So you've got to find out what it is you want to draw into your life. Get a picture and start looking at that picture to create that vision. And then dream and feel as though it's already yours. You have to start feeling the excitement of that picture, what it draws to you. When I was in Tokyo in 2008, I had a picture of Kate Moss, and I cut her out and put her in my loo. Kate, if you're watching, you know, I just wanted to say thank you. But this picture that I have of Kate was just to say, oh, I'm wondering if this still works with working with certain people. And I wanted to work with Kate. I hadn't worked with Kate before. I'd worked with Christy Turlington back in 2004, 2005. But I hadn't worked with Kate yet, and I hadn't joined a certain agency. 2009, I ended up joining Store Model Agency, which Kate was a model at. And I found that, I think it was the next year, 2010, I ended up being booked for a job with Kate for an underwear advert. And so that happened. So my picture came true 2 years later. So I was just absolutely astounded. But you know what? After having those little experiences of going on the holidays, doing this, doing that, I just thought to myself, do you know what? This will work. This will work. But I wasn't trying to do it. I was just emoting. And, you know, every time I'd look at the picture, I'd be like, hi, Kate, how you doing? It's just hilarious. So it works when you're trying to draw people into your life that you want to work with for a positive benefit. Just remember, the blueprint that you want will always have to have some sort of, as if you're giving back to life in some kind of way, as if you're benefiting life some kind of way. Yes, you want to have, you know, a car. Yes, you want to drive a car. Yes, you might want to go on a beautiful vacation. Yes, you might want this house. It's got to benefit other people. It's going to have to benefit life for it to truly be activated. Your vision will be made solid first through your pictures, and the energy that you send to it, which is positive, uplifting emotional energy to it, is what draws it to you. And as long as that's mixed with the intent that it's helping other people, it's helping life in some way, I guarantee you this will be fulfilled. This is something that's been talked about in The Secret. It's been talked about in Neville Goddard's Your Wish Fulfilled. It's been talked about by Florence Scovel Shriver, Ernest Holmes. There's loads of people that have understood this principle of the law of attraction. And this law of attraction, I'm trying to talk to you from two different perspectives. If you're listening to this and you're new to this idea, then I would want to talk it to you from a blueprint perspective. If I'm talking to you from a spiritual perspective, I'm going to be talking to you from the perspective of what you think and you feel, you will draw into your life. But more importantly, what you picture and what you feel, you will draw into your life, because vision is everything. Think of a builder building a home. You don't just build the house. You've got to come across the blueprints. You've got to have the plans. You've got to have the instructions. You've got to be thinking how you're going to do this. Now, the universe works a bit differently. It doesn't want the how. It just wants to know what the end outcome or vision that you're trying to achieve is. But very much like a builder building a beautiful home, or a beautiful block of flats, or something large, like creating the Olympics, there needs to be a blueprint of what the vision and what the feeling of this property or this event is going to be like. And if you're clear about that, that is the blueprint, that's the vision. And if you're unclear about it, your results will be mixed. Your results won't be that great. Yes, you can knock things and bang things into place, but it's not quite the same as having vision. So having mood boards, or if you're in fashion, when I go to, if you're on a modeling job, what I've always found is they have mood boards to try and, get the feeling of how this commercial is going to be or how this campaign is going to be. So they get pictures of, maybe different coats and maybe different guys and girls looking a certain way, because they're trying to emanate that emotion. They're trying to emanate that picture, but obviously make their own. So you get that feeling, because remember, our mind thinks in pictures. That's very clever, having a mood board. The mood means emotion, and the pictures are the vision. And remember, the vision with the emotion, or the mood, or the positive mood, is what brings it to you, and fast. And it's even better, made more powerful, like I mentioned earlier, when it's benefiting life in some kind of way, like you're giving back to life in some kind of way, like it's benefiting other people in some kind of way. That's what makes it powerful. I'm absolutely fascinated by how this has all come about, and I continue to activate more visions in my life by being super clear about what it is that I want, particularly with this podcast, helping more and more people, to inspire them and uplift them, helping them transform. I have a vision for that. I have a vision for helping people, and I love to help people, and I love to see people thrive and succeed. And that is a true joy that I get when I see other people benefit from something I'm able to share and uplift, that comes from the heart and mind, because that's what you're doing. When you're activating those emotions with the vision, it comes about. So for a little example, get a picture of some place you'd like to go. Get a little postcard, and on the postcard you could have something like, life is good, this is a beautiful holiday, something like that. And just enjoy looking at that picture. Enjoy looking at that picture for, I'm going to say 2 months. And enjoy really looking at it every day before you go to bed. If you're lying on your bed, you've got a bit of time, you're just chilling out for 1 or 2 minutes. Spend time really looking at that picture, feeling a sense of satisfaction. Imagine yourself in the picture. Talk to it. And amazing things will happen, but please do not believe me. Do not believe me. Have your own experience. And you know what my indicator was when I know that I'm doing it right? I get good feeling butterflies in my stomach. If I'm looking at a picture and it gives me good feeling butterflies, I know for a fact that that is coming into my life. And I don't know when it's going to come about. I don't know how it's going to come about. I do not know the route it's going to come about. All I'm thinking about is me being in that picture, me having that experience. From my eyes, looking outward onto that beach, looking at that beautiful pelican, which is pink on white sand with beautiful trees either side, and the most transparent blue azure water you've ever seen, which is very shallow. That was my experience. And that can be your experience too, if you start applying this. But don't do it to try and feel like, oh, I need to get out of here to go there. Do it because that picture is drawing you in. It has to draw you in. And by the way, what happened was when I did end up going on that holiday to the Maldives with my dear friend, he said to me, you know why I want to take you on this trip? It's because you helped me feel good. And so can you see there was a benefit in someone else doing that? And so, and naturally I was overjoyed to go, and we laughed so much for a week, and that was hilarious. And that's really what this is all about. If you're helping someone else, if it's benefiting other people in some kind of way, shape or form, then this vision will be activated. If you're building a building to help look after and create, transform people's living situations for the better, this is going to come about even faster, because the universe wants to work in concert, wants to work in harmony with us, with our minds and hearts. And you know, having a vision is so powerful. So what's your vision? If you're wanting to attract a relationship, have a picture of a happy couple. It can be whatever your interpretation of it. It could be a sculpture. It could be a picture. It could be a picture of two lovebirds together. You know, whatever it is. You know, this is feng shui now that we're sort of moving in towards. Think about what it is you're wanting to draw into your life. And I'll be really happy to talk you through some of the principles that have worked for me that can definitely work for you. Because I knew nothing about the law of attraction before I started putting these pictures up. The secret wasn't out. There was nothing, any material when I was 15, 16 going on that allowed me to have these experiences years later. But now I know what I'm doing when it's working. And once you've had success, you're just going to replicate that successful blueprint like LeBron James was saying. So I dare you to start putting amazing pictures of things that you want to draw into your life. Maybe it's in the bathroom when you're going to the bathroom. Maybe it's by your bedstand, you have something that you want. I've built a vision board of something that I'm wanting to draw into my life, and I change it kind of like every two years or so. But I do this because, you know, I want my ideas and I want things to be fresh and new and exciting. And if they haven't come about, that's okay. They'll come about when they're good and ready. But my main thing is to enjoy looking at the pictures, feel a sense of connectivity with it, to get this emotional, good feeling relationship going between me and my vision. And I know it will come about because it's come about before. It might not come about in the time that I want it to. It will come about when it's good and ready. And that's really the secret. Life will organize it and orchestrate it for you because it knows what you want when you're clear. Because when you're clear about your vision, life knows exactly what you want. And life will deliver it to you in its own beautiful way. There's a divine orchestra going on. Life, you know, from planting a seed for it to grow, there has to be this intelligence. And the intelligence starts within that seed because that seed knows what it wants. And those thought seeds that you plant with clear pictures of clear outcomes that you want, that will be your reality when you are clear about what it is that you're planting in your mind, the pictures that you're planting in your mind, and what you're allowing to absorb in your mind. Now, the quicker for this to turn up is based on how good you feel. The better you feel, the quicker things will come to you. The worse you feel, the slower things come to you. And the energy that you're focused upon is either high or low. And what you always want is on higher frequency, is on a higher octave, is on a higher note. So you need to match that note by feeling really good. And when you watch the things like news late at night, you're just hitting your subconscious with bad feeling things, and that will play in your mind. Why not go to bed having done a little meditation, having read an uplifting book, having maybe listened to some beautiful music, maybe having made clear what it is you want your outcomes for tomorrow to be, having played with your little kids before you put them to bed. Anything that makes you feel good is a great way that you're going to start the next day, which creates that wonderful positive spiral. It's all about emotion, folks. It's all about creating positive emotion, and it's all about conjuring up positive emotions by having beautiful pictures in your life. I hope there's been something on here for you. There's lots of ideas to consider, to digest, to take away. And, you know, if you want to contact me, please type me in the video below or reach me on Instagram and DM me, and I'll be really happy and delighted to contact with you. This is a subject I love talking about. There is no end to this subject. And I'm very excited to share, some of the new visions that will happen to me, and then I can share them back to you. Because really what life is about you creating what you want. And when you create what you want, you have such satisfaction. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Start creating some beautiful visions, and then begin to allow, through your positive emotions, them to unfold in your life magically, as I know that they will. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the show. And as always, I wish you green lights all the way.